Got to get happy. Feel the vibration of happiness. July 29th, 2014. Woo! Gotta feel the beat. Gotta be happy. Feel the vibration. First, I give thanks for the creative source of this universe, and I give thanks to my mother, Shirley Hardy, the elder in my life. Thank you for joining us and sharing with us how you are moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. We wish to honor your walk from the old belief system of disease treatment for correcting your cellular malfunctions. Family, community, and friends, it's not selfish to honor yourself. Love yourself. Put yourself first. Come on, take care of yourself and make your happiness a priority. It's time to connect with the vibrations of happiness. Being healthy starts with being happy, and those who are happy are much healthier. Greetings to you all in love and kindness. Thank you for tuning in via the internet. Once again, the conference line should be up next week, and we want to thank you so much for sharing the good news from this show with family and friends. You are tuned into Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K, right here on the airwaves of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. And yes, this is a live broadcast. You can email questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com. That's innerlightradio@yahoo.com. You can Facebook Brother Jamal with questions or comments, and you can call in and share. The lines will be open at 645. That's 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. We do ask that you mute your phone because you are entering a live chat room. And I will invite you to join the conversation by your phone number or your Skype name. Welcome to the Conscious Wellness Checkpoint. For you, it could be a choice point. Now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts, your consciousness, and your actions. My regular friend joining me in the chat room is Wanda K. Whitaker, anchored in spirit, Pacifica, California. And I'm Dr. Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. Joining us tonight is our special guests. We have Jim Oschman and Jim Turner, two luminaries. Jim Oschman in the science behind energy medicine, and Jim Turner, a luminary in the law of health freedom. We're so excited that they will be joining us today on Heart to Heart Healthy Living. And of course, you. We want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us on our new time slot at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific. So glad that you are here with us today and sharing this show with your family and friends. Come on. It's time to be happy, get healthy, raise your vibration. You just heard the music. You know that that wonderful beat is sending this positive energy flowing through your body. So get happy, take a deep breath, and let's get ready to change our vibration. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and start the conversation. Thank you for tuning in.
Come join us as Dr. Karen Davis-Foulks and hypnotherapist Wanda K. Whitaker hosts the free global community conference call, It's Not What It Looks Like, Your Challenges Are Your Gifts, inspired by the book by the world-renowned channeler for light energy John Christopher Jamila A. Shabazz, every first, second, and third Monday of the month, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information, visit www.consciousselfcare.com, where the letter S connects conscious and self. The exclusive call-in number is 712-432-1212, meeting ID number 738-982-625. Again, 712-432-1212, ID number 738-982-625. Join our Facebook group, Target Love, as we look forward to talking with you on Monday.
We are so excited about the conference call, the free global conference call. Working with the book, It's Not What It Looks Like, Your Challenges Are Your Gifts, by world-renowned channeler Jamila A. Shabazz and her spirit guide, Light Energy John Christopher. Just having a wonderful time assisting people with embracing everything in love and kindness that you are creating for yourself. Wanda, it's so great to have you join me again today. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you as well. And I'm so excited about the two guests that we have on today, Jim Oschman and Jim Turner, because I know already we're going to learn something new. I actually told people to make sure they listen in and have a pad of paper and a pen to take notes. So I've got mine.
I know. Look. Thank God we had the rebroadcast of this one because it's going to be great. You're right, Wanda. We're so excited. We have Jim Oschman here and Jim Turner. Jim Turner, he is president of Hope on the Hill with Citizen Healers. He's a conscious lawyer, career, consumer health freedom, and a choice advocate. And they're doing wonderful things. And along with Citizens for Health and Judy Kosovich, we will be presenting a fair in November where Jim is going to be our guest and Jim Turner is going to be speaking and others. So we're going to be sharing about that. Energy and wellness, a no frills extravaganza that's going to be Thursday, August the 14th, 2014 from 5:30 to 9 p.m. They're asking you to bring your wellness questions to the historic National City Christian Church to meet up with the body workers and energetic and the movement therapists, where we all going to be doing wonderful things and sharing some good information as Jim is going to share with us today. So Wanda, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and introduce Jim Oschman, and then he can connect Jim Turner up with everything, and then we can get this conversation started.
I'm ready.
Okay. Jim Oschman is the award-winning author of Energetic Medicine, the scientific basis and energy medicine in therapeutics and human performances. He lectures widely on the science behind a variety of emergency medical techniques. Jim has degrees in biophysics and biology from the University of Pittsburgh. He has worked in major research labs around the world. He has published more than 100 articles and books, and his scientific papers have been published in the world's leading journals. Jim has both taught and attended classes at various therapeutic schools around the world and experienced a wide range of bodywork techniques. Finally, Jim has become involved in the development of cutting-edge medical devices and other applications of the emerging concepts of energy medicine. Jim is a member of the Scientific Advisory Board for the National Foundation for Alternative Medicine and is the recipient of the Foundation Founders Award. He has also received a Distinguished Service Award from the Roth Institute and a Career Award from the International Fresno Research Congress. He is also a member of the Educational Board of the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicines. My first encounter with Jim Oschman was in the movie The Living Matrix as a nurse practitioner, wellness therapist. That's my first encounter with Jim, and from that point on, I followed him, and I was so excited when we joined up together in Washington, D.C. at the Capital Wellness Expo 2013, where we walked on Congress to let them know about alternative medicine. Jim Oschman, welcome to Heart2Heart Healthy Living.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to connect, and I loved your introduction, and you summarized a lot of things there and gave us all who are listening an idea of self-care, conscious self-care. I like that. And part of conscious self-care is knowing what's available if you need it. And that's one of my themes. One of the biggest problems in medicine today is that people have aches and pains and troubles and so on, and they don't know what all is available to help them. So that's the excitement of this fair we're going to have, this extravaganza that Judy Kosovich has organized together with Jim Turner, and we're going to have some very powerful speakers. What's exciting to me is when the public comes and asks questions. And I did one of these things a few years ago on Cape Cod at Mashpee High School Auditorium. We had 400 people. The place was packed. And I talked about science for an hour, but then the exciting part was when people started to ask questions. And someone would talk about some issue they're having with their health, and another person would pop up and say, well, I had the same problem, and an acupuncturist really helped me out. And then somebody else popped up and said, I'm an acupuncturist, and I've treated people with your problems. And so this kind of connection, this is community. This is connecting people with the information and the people they need. And it's quite exciting. And I'm happy that we're on here with Jim Turner, who has done an enormous amount of wonderful work for all of us, helping the practitioners. He's the guy to turn to when you have a problem, a legal problem. And he, with his Citizens for Health, has really done an enormous amount to bring healthcare forward and make life better for literally millions of people around the country, and I think around the world. I think you have, Jim, some of your people in other countries as well.
Mr. Turner?
Yes, that is true. We do, and we work on various kinds of national regulatory policy and state policy, and our objective is to have as broad a group of practitioners who can approach all of our health situations from all the very many different angles that natural healing offers. And we want to make sure that everybody in this country who wants to have access to natural healing has that access. Actually, at this point, a significant amount, more than half of the American public, is using one or more of the natural modalities to be a part of their healthcare approach. And it's a kind of a major revolution, and it's happening not only in this country, but as you point out, Jim, across the world. In fact, I just got an email just about 15 minutes ago about a natural healing expo that's going to be held in Mexico for the Mexican natural healing community. Be kind of interesting. And they are happening all over the world.
All over the world. Attorney Turner, would you introduce our listening audience to Voice for Hope and what that organization is all about and how they can get involved in supporting this movement?
Yes, Voice for Hope is Healers of Planet Earth. That's what HOPE stands for. Healers of Planet Earth. And our objective, and what we have been doing now for the last year and a half or 2 years, is we bring people who are from the natural health community to Washington, D.C. And then we have an evening of discussion about natural healing, and the various people introduce themselves and what they're doing in the natural healing world. And then the next day we have training in how to meet with your either your representative in the House of Representatives or the senior health advisor to that representative. And we've had close to 200 meetings now, and we go and talk to these people about natural healing. The only point we wish to make with them is that in their district, probably if the district is like the nation as a whole, half or more of the people in that district are using alternative, complementary, natural healing modalities. And it's important for people who are the representatives of these districts to actually know what's going on in their district. And we offer them the opportunity to meet people in their district who are doing natural healing activities. Now, one congressperson had the oldest acupuncture school in the country in his district and wasn't even aware of it. And it was a very important breakthrough for that whole community, for that introduction to take place. And all over the country, there are things going on. There's a set of three veterans. There are a set of 3 Veterans Administration hospitals using Qigong down in Florida. And we had one of our Voice for Hope people, who's the manager of that program, come up and meet with the representatives from those districts and talk to them and explain what was going on in their VA hospitals in their own districts. And
right.
What our objective is to get people to know what is happening in their communities.
That was a powerful experience for me. Matter of fact, when I did it in 2013 to be a part of that, it actually took me back to my days in my early 20s when I worked for the NAACP legislative office and the mobilizations that they used to have up on the Hill. So it was similar to that, but it was with a different tone and a different understanding. So the approach that we have when we go talk to the constituents to let them know how powerful the movement is within their district of people really looking at the fact that they do have a choice, a freedom choice of healthcare to choose their pathway, and let them know on how many people in their district are actually using alternative modalities and understanding energetic medicine. So the organization and what y'all are doing is very powerful, and I really want all our listeners around the world to fully understand. And so before we go any further, and I know that they are able to listen and use the internet. So Jim Turner, I want you to give the website so people can go look. And so when we open up the lines, they will have their questions they can ask, as well as Jim Oschman. I'd like for you to give your website so people can go look, and when we open up the lines, they will have questions, and then we will continue the conversation. So, Jim, what is your
the best way to find Voice for Hope is to Google Voice for Hope. It is voiceforhope.com.
Okay, thank you very much. And Jim Oschman, how can people learn more about energy medicine from your perspective that we're getting ready to talk about? What website can they go look at right now to, or YouTube, whatever?
The place to go is my website, which is Energy Research, one word, energyresearch.us. And right in the middle of my webpage, right at the top, you will see an announcement of this gathering, this extravaganza that's going to happen in Washington on Thursday, August 14th. And you'll get to see some of the people who are presenting. And I'm very excited about this, and I hope you all will come. Hope everybody comes.
Yeah, I think everybody really is going to come out because they really want to understand the relationship of wellness and energy. And that's what I want you to share with us first, Jim, if you can share. But I think we have a caller on the line, and I don't think they have muted their line out. So we want to see the caller. I know we just started the conversation. So do you have a question, or are you just listening in to the conference line through the voice? Caller 21215, area code. Do you have a question now, or are you just listening in?
Listening in.
Okay, can you mute your phone out so we won't have any distractions if that's coming from you? And thank you for listening in. Thank you very much. So Jim Oschman, thank you so very much for being here. For the people that really don't understand energy and energy medicine, can you start off with giving us a definition of energy and energy medicine from your perspective?
Well, everybody knows more about energy than they realize. You have to realize that everything that you experience with your senses, the sense of smell, vision, hearing, touch, all of these are energetic phenomena. And gravity is an important energy. It causes a lot of problems. And some of the people who will be presenting at this extravaganza are people who work with gravity and can help you get yourself back on your feet. So energy consists of the various forces of nature: heat, light, sound, electricity, magnetism, gravity, and so on, and how they affect the human body. And the human body is very sensitive to a lot of different kinds of energy in the environment. It's how we know where we are. We're using energetics all the time to locate where we are in the world, to determine what we want to do, and to do what we want to do. So energy medicine is the use of different forms of energy, the same kinds of energy: heat, light, sound, smell, touch, gravity, using those energies in beneficial ways, recognizing that the body knows how to use those different forms of energy. So as a study, energy medicine is a fascinating and wonderfully revealing sort of exercise in figuring out who we are and how we interact with the world and how we interact with each other. One of the interesting things about energy is that our thoughts affect us energetically and affect the people around us. So we have to be aware of that, and we have to be mindful of how we affect people. And when we are that way, everyone has a much better community. So energy is a tremendously exciting field to be in, and my books have been widely received around the world. I've sold close to 50,000 copies in many different languages, and I travel all over the world talking about this wonderful new, I consider it an academic discipline on a par with physics and chemistry and biology and geology and so on, because science has found out a great deal about energy that has great value to all of us. And so my passion is to communicate that information to as many people as I can and have them use it to their healthful advantage.
Energy and wellness for the human being. So what can you share with us that's out here in energy in the air that is affecting the human body field, the human, that they can look at, like smart meters, cell phones, how they have them connected to their body. Most people think that the emission from that is not strong enough to cause any harm to their being or to the baby that they give the cell phone to hold and play with. Certain aspects like that. What can you share with the listening audience?
Well, I really like the name of your program, Inner Light Radio. Inner Light is something that I am studying right now. It's part of the ancient spiritual traditions, and there's a lot of science about inner light and about how electromagnetic fields are one of the ways the body communicates with itself, and every cell in your body is extremely sensitive to the fields in the environment, and this is where cell phones have to be treated carefully. And smart meters are a real problem because they can interfere with that very subtle and very delicate communication that is keeping you functioning on a minute by minute, second by second basis. So, and the big discovery in biophysics, people couldn't believe that, for example, walking under a power line could affect them. And scientists said those fields are way too weak to have any effect on living systems. What we have discovered is that living systems are sensitive to all of it. Very tiny fields can have big effects. And so that's a surprise, and it hasn't sunk in. For a lot of people, they can't imagine that a smart meter on the side of their house could affect their health. And yet there are all sorts of reports of very serious health conditions arising after the smart meter is installed. So this is the new revolution. We have to take care of our space where we live and where we work and make sure that we're not cooking ourselves. And it doesn't take much. In fact, the body is more sensitive. This may be hard to believe, but the body is more sensitive to very tiny fields than it is to strong fields. And when it comes to healing, one of my statements is, why use a sledgehammer when a feather will do? Very light touch, very sensitive touch can transform a person's life if they have a health problem. Hope I answered your question.
It's not really that complicated to really take care of our bodies. We just have to be willing to look at things a little bit different. I'm going to take a commercial break. I'm going to come back, and I want Jim Turner to introduce us to this extravaganza that's coming up and what people can look forward to. And then I have a question that I want to ask Jim about the Constitution and health when we come back from the break. Thank you all for tuning into Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnosis are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain, not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, www.celllife.com. That's right. It's time to take a look at how you've been caring for your being. And if you're not pleased with the disease care system that you've been working with, you might want to come over to wellness, to the wellness systems, and you will probably end up getting well if you look at it that way. Call her on the 215. If you don't have a mute button on your phone that you hit, then you're not muted out, and we can still hear your conversation when you're on the phone. Want to let you be aware of that. And so we are so thankful you are tuned into Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Our special guest this evening is Jim Turner. He's president of Hope on the Hill. He's also attorney and an activist for your health freedom choice. And we have Jim Oschman, who is a leader in helping people understand the wonderful signs of the invisible made visible through energy medicine and natural healing. And we're going to have an event in Washington, D.C. I'm one of the sponsors of this event, and we are so happy to have Jim Oschman and Jim Turner and a whole group of other people that's going to be there to answer all your questions about wellness, how you can shift your energy and come over to really creating the care for your body that you so richly want to do. So once again, welcome to Heart Healthy Living. Wanda, what we heard so far, do you have any statements or comments for either one of our guests?
Well, I'm just so happy that you have them paired together, because I think that...
Wasn't that wonderful? When Judy called me and told me that Jim Turner was going to be joining us too, I was like, woo woo.
Here's the thing. Before pharmaceuticals, right, there was natural healing. And it took legislation to change that. And it didn't come overnight either. But most people don't know the history of pharmaceuticals, nor do they know the history of medicine. Jim brought up something very, very critical. And that is, a lot of people are lacking information. They don't have the new science that is out there. The information that he has, and you can go to his website and also on YouTube, is relatively new, but it's not. But it just hasn't been published in today's textbooks and things of that nature. And why not? There is a reason for that. Thus, Jim Turner. So,
I like the way you did that.
Well, it's true. The only thing I say is to make science fun, so that younger people and people who aren't really don't know a lot about science, they can become more engaged. But other than that, there's a reason why the birds are falling out of the sky and the fish are dying and there are no more bees. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, expanding our awareness. Mr. Jim, Attorney Jim Turner, will you tell us about the event that's coming up and who are some of the guest speakers that's going to be there?
Well, yes, but before I do that, I need to say that the address I gave you for Voice for Hope was not correct. It's voiceforhope.org, not .com. It's voiceforhope.org. So hopefully people who have that heard that first address can change it now. Voice for Hope is a sister organization of Citizens for Health, which has been around since about 1993. And it came into existence for the purpose of passing the Dietary Supplement Health Education Act. It generated over $1.5 million letters to Congress, and this is before the internet. And basically, it was that huge outpouring of public concern that caused that legislation to be passed, and that legislation is what has given us access to dietary supplements and herbal medicines, herbal supplements. That whole experience is an extremely important one in having opened up the opportunity for the natural healing methodologies to be able to be adopted in this country. As Wanda pointed out, the trick here is that there's a whole lot of legal stuff that goes on besides the science for these things to move forward. Now, Citizens for Health is going to be sponsoring this event here in August. I believe it's August 14th. Did I get that correct?
Yes, August 14th, 5:30 to 9 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's going to there'll be something of an expo there. A lot of people will be coming and showing their particular kinds of modalities and access, and there'll be a lot of books and so forth available. The key speaker there will be Jim Oschman, and we will have a lot of conversation with the audience about what Jim's going to talk about, the energy healing material that he talked about here, but I think in a longer, more integrated way. And then we'll have a lot of opportunities for conversations about the kinds of things that Jim is talking about and the other modalities. And we'll have representatives of the various modalities and people like acupuncturists and so forth. One of the things, just as an aside, just to give you a feel for how this natural healing material is moving in the society, I was the lawyer that was involved leading the team that got FDA to actually approve acupuncture needles, and that was in 1996. It's really important to understand that until 1996, technically speaking, acupuncture needles were illegal in the United States. And that, to me, is an example of, first of all, how really important knowledge for the public is often blocked by very bad legal activities, and then what an effort it is to move those legal barriers out of the way. Our meeting on August 14th here in Washington will be at the National Christian Church, which is at Thomas Circle on 14th Street and Massachusetts Avenue. And all of you folks who are here in the D.C. area, or anybody who wants to come and have a nice visit to Washington, be sure to put that on your list for that night. But we will be discussing all of the scientific initiatives that have gone on over the last several decades, and all of the legal material that had to be undertaken to allow the knowledge and insights that were being developed by the scientists to be allowed to be available to the people by changing laws that otherwise would block them. There were laws that blocked dietary supplements. There were laws that blocked acupuncture needles, as I mentioned. It was very complicated getting these energy devices to finally be available to the public. A lot of people fought a lot of legal battles for all of that. That's going to all be a focus of our presentation on August 14th here in Washington, D.C., 5:30 to 9. And I hope everyone who is listening, certainly if they're in this area, please come. And if they're not in this area, plan a trip to Washington and come and see all of the national sites and come to our expo.
Yes, we're going to have a fantastic time. There's going to be a lot of practitioners there sharing their modalities. I will be there sharing the total wellness system from Nest Health, human body field scan, and how we look at the body through the fields of energy and information. And so we're going to have a great time, and we want you to come out. And for those that don't have a full understanding of the alternative care, energetic medicine, energetic field, this is a great opportunity for you to come out, for you to hear, to be able to really ask questions and get your questions answered from some of the top people in this particular field, and just to be around all the various modalities that are available to assist you with correcting your cellular malfunctions, to know that your body is able and willing to allow it to reach total wellness as soon as you say so, and as soon as you start doing the things that you need to do that. Jim, I'm going to Mr. Turner, I'm going to stick with you for 1 minute because I just recently heard that in the state of North Carolina that they just passed legislations that nutritionists can no longer talk nutrition for health care because of the Dietitian Association. Can you share any information on that?
I do not know about North Carolina, and now that you told me, I'm going to have to check. But I will tell you that the general movement across the country is in the opposite direction. There have been our allies in the nutrition education world, that Citizens for Health allies, have been battling in every state where there is that kind of legislation. And I have not heard of any other state that there has been a piece of legislation like that passed recently. There are a number of states where they have been passed in the past. And just recently, within the last couple of weeks, the state of Michigan repealed their restrictive law, and the governor signed into law a new piece of legislation that allows people who are well trained in the nutrition area to actually be able to provide nutrition information. Before, it was only dietitians that were allowed, and that's been the standard across the country. And as I say, the nutrition resistors to that kind of thinking have been successful in blocking new laws in many states, and rolled back one in Michigan. I will have to check on North Carolina. That's new information for me, and it does not track with the national trend. So I'll check it out, and we'll get back together and talk about it, and we'll find out what can be done to change it if it is what you've reported.
Wonderful, wonderful. So once again, we're talking to Jim Turner and Jim Oschman right here on Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Citizens for Health and Judy Kosovich is presenting this Energy and Wellness, a no-frills extravaganza, 5:30 to 9 p.m. Thursday, August the 14th, 2014. I want you to bring all your wellness questions to the historic National City Christian Church, and you will be able to ask all the questions, receive all the latest information, know about the legislation, know what's going on. And, the information is what we want to get out, but we know we do have to support the organizations and what they're doing. And so the cost of the event is very, very affordable for everyone to attend. I think, matter of fact, it's just $20 for one individual. And the more people you bring, the more the cost goes down to almost literally $5, the more people that you bring. But you can go to energyresearch.homestead, homestead.com/Washington-DC-event. All the details of all the people that will be there, the sponsors, what you can expect to hear from the presenters. All the information is available for you there, for you to share with all other alternative people in the alternative modalities, people that are not, people just looking to find a different way to care for their health. They really believe in that the alternative side can support them, but they're really not sure, and they want to get some comparisons and understanding. This is a great opportunity for you to come out and be able to ask individuals and practitioners how they can support you with assisting your body with healing itself naturally, and that you do have another alternative. Seriously, family and community and friends, it is definitely a whole new frontier in healthcare, and you're able to do a lot of things on your own, and this is a great opportunity for you to begin to do that. And so I want to thank you, Attorney Jim Turner, for sharing that information with us. And Jim Oschman, I wanted you to come back, and I know that I have some people on the line listening, and I had them go out and look at some videos on YouTube. And one of the ones that stuck out to people was a conversation that you had with Dr. Marcalo, I believe that's his name, on inflammation. And so now we're understanding that they have now just declared inflammation a quote-unquote disease. In your perspective, what is inflammation, and how does it relate to people grounding themselves from your perspective?
Inflammation is extremely important. It's one of the most widely studied phenomena in medical research, with hundreds of thousands of studies being done around the world. And the reason for that is the recognition, what is being discovered is that inflammation is the source of just about every chronic disease, including all of the diseases of aging. And so if you can get your inflammation under control, you will live a lot happier, healthier, pain-free life. And the simplest thing you can do, which is very natural, is to take your shoes and socks off and walk barefoot in the grass. And that will connect you with the earth, which is a source of electrons, which are antioxidants. They're the best thing that can be used to treat or prevent serious health problems. So the earth, Mother Earth, is a wonderful thing to connect with, and there are ways of doing that. One of the really good ones is to get a sheet that you can put on your bed that has silver fibers woven through it that connect to a wire that goes out your bedroom window to a rod that you stick in the ground, preferably near a healthy plant. Healthy plant, healthy body. And this is research I've been working on for about a dozen years with some very fine scientists, about a dozen scientists. And that's the inflammation story. It does not have to happen.
Yeah, it's not really, because it's not that real complicated. And when you explain to people that simple, I'm a doctor of lymphology. I've been teaching cellular ecology for 30 years, and the basis to what we've been teaching is what causes your body to get into the inflammation state and for your lymphatic system to be sluggish. And the information is so simplistic, and people just really cannot believe that that's all is to it to correct their health paradigm. And you just said it, and you said it beautifully, and you still said it very simplistic. But people are going to hold on to how they have been taught to think about the term of a disease and using pharmaceuticals. So does pharmaceuticals lead to excessive inflammation in the body from your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, pharmaceuticals all have side effects. And I like the natural remedies that have only side benefits. I like that.
Yes. Wonderful. Wanda, I see you say you have a question for Jim Oschman.
Yeah, because I really wanted to address the science part of the discussion, and Jim is the one who really talks about the living matrix, because most people think that healing starts at the cellular level, but we're still going by an old model of the cell. And Karen, you have the movie, The Living Matrix, that you've been showing in the DC area, so I wanted for Jim to kind of explain that as it relates to vibration and frequency.
One of the wonderful things that I've learned from therapists who touch the human body, massage therapists, acupuncturists, and dozens of different therapies that involve touching and connecting through the energy field, is that, and this may seem kind of unbelievable, but when you touch the body in one place, you're touching the whole body, because everything is connected to everything else. And so it's possible with consciousness and with good technique to reach into any cell in the body. And it's this fabric which my wife Nora and I coined the term the living matrix some years ago. I think it was 1996. And it's taken off. And if you look up the living matrix on Google, you will find thousands and thousands of references to it. And it's enabled many different therapists to explain, that there's a problem that the patient has when the therapist does something wonderful and the patient says, "How did you do that?" And the living matrix provides an explanation of how these miraculous things, seemingly miraculous things, can happen. And I wish everybody the opportunity to experience some of these diverse healing modalities. One thing that's true in the world is that every patient is different, and some methods work really well for one person and not so well for another. And that's one of the good things about this extravaganza, is you'll find out about lots of different modalities, and I hope lots of practitioners sign up as well. And one of the big problems these days is pain. A lot of people are in pain, and the leading pain-killing drugs have been taken off the market because of their horrible side effects. So what do you do if you're in pain? And alternative medicine has many answers to what to do if you have pain. And so we have some practitioners coming. I'm coming from New Hampshire, and we have a practitioner coming from Seattle, or one coming from Boston. And these are top-notch people who work with pain very successfully, and their insights are precious.
More precious than gold, because everybody's in pain due to lack of oxygen and inflammation. And you can correct that pain by clearing your consciousness and have joy for what you brought into your life. And you can correct all your experiences by a shift in your energy and your conscious thinking, and expanding your awareness about what you know about healthcare and what you have been told and what you've been led to believe. It's a new day. It's time for a new way. And I just truly love what Voices for Hope say. Freedom to choose your path to wellness. Yes, you have freedom to choose your path for wellness. And that's one of the questions that's going to segue me into talking to Jim Turner once again. Because in one of my books that I published, I quoted this statement. And since you deal with the Constitution and law, it said that Dr. Benjamin Rush, Surgeon General for George Washington Army and signer of the Declaration of Independence, stated, "Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will be organized into an undercover dictatorship to be restricted to the art of healing to one class of men, conventional orthodox treatment, and deny equal privileges to others. All such laws are un-American and despotic and have no place in a republic. The Constitution of this republic should make special provisions for medical freedom as well as religious freedom." And so, Mr. Turner, I think that's where you come in at, and that's what you're doing, because they didn't put it in the Declaration of Independence. They didn't put it in the Constitution, medical freedom.
That is correct. They did not put those words in the Constitution, and as a result, what Benjamin Rush predicted in that quote has actually gone pretty far down the road. Fortunately, because we do live in a democracy and people are not happy to be pushed around, the public has really resisted and fought back, actually, for a long time, over the last 100 years. And the majority of people don't use drugs quite much at all. One of the interesting things is that our healthcare bill is about $2 trillion. It's about 1/5 of the entire gross domestic product, and half of that money covers the healthcare of 5% of the population. Now, those are facts that you want to think about when you're looking at our healthcare structure. If there's a way in which what Benjamin Rush was saying has actually gotten hold of the actual structures of the system, but the people themselves have been escaping out from underneath that. One of our big arguments that we make is that while the Constitution doesn't have health rights actually spelled out in them, it does have a recognized reference to, and it's now been adopted by the Supreme Court, to a right to privacy. And the right to privacy allows you to do a number of things, and we argue that one of them is to make your own health care choices. And so what we like to do and we look for are cases in which we can actually say to the courts and to the regulators too, and right up to the Supreme Court, that individuals have a constitutionally protected right to make the choices that allow them to use natural healing modalities as a part of, if not all, of their healthcare approach. So while it's not explicitly there, and the absence of its explicit statement has allowed substantial erosion of the freedoms that people have, in fact, the idea of the right to privacy and the right to making your own health choices is in the Constitution, at least recognized by the Supreme Court as being implied, and we want to build that out and make it more dominant and more a part of our daily lives. And by the way, we think while that will be very, very good for the health of individual people, it also has the salutary effect of changing the economics of healthcare. As I said, we're spending about $2 trillion, about a fifth of the entire gross domestic product, on our healthcare activities. And we're not getting a very good payout for that. The natural modalities actually give us a lot of very good personal satisfaction, a lot of healthcare benefits, and at a far less cost than the complicated technological drug-based system that we live with.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for sharing that with us. Once again, family, community, and friends, I want to thank you for tuning into Heart to Heart Healthy Living. Today, we're talking to Jim Oschman and we're talking to Jim Turner. And we're bringing Jim Oschman, and Jim Turner is going to be speaking there as well, to Washington, D.C. this August the 14th, 2014. That's a Thursday from 5:30 to 9 p.m. It's called The Energy and Wellness. It's connected. It's one. There is no separation. It is one. Energy. You are energy, light, energetic beings. And you want to be well, you must connect to the truth of who you are. So this is a no frills extravaganza. You're going to have all people there with many, many different modalities to assist you with help you shift your energy. So we really want you to come out to the historic National City Christian Church Thursday, August the 14th. You can find out more details about the event by going to energyresearch.homestead.com/Washington-DC-events. As well as you can also go to my website, forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. The information is there. You can also learn more about Voices for Hope. You can go to voicesforhope.org, and all the information is out there where you can join, become a part, take the course, and be ready to go and assist them on October the 20th through the 22nd. I believe is the next Emergence on the Hill. Is that correct,
That's
Jim?
right. The next Hope on the Hill is October 20th to 21st, October 20th to 22nd. And we'll be going up on the hill on the 21st. And we welcome everyone who wants to come. We do training, and you have a very interesting experience. Everyone who's done it has come away with a great new insight about their own personal power and their ability to influence the realities back in their own congressional district. Also, by the way, I just wanted to mention that the National Christian Church is where Lyndon Johnson's funeral was. It's a very, very wonderful, beautiful old church that's been a major player in the Washington scene for many, many years.
Wonderful information. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, for joining us. And before we end the show, Wanda, do you have something you want to share?
Well, as I really think about and contemplate what we're talking about, I think a key to some of this, especially as far as changing medicine and the direction it's going, are the medical schools. Because right now, students are not only learning these huge terms, but they also have to remember the pharmaceutical drug that treats a particular ailment or disease. And so they are getting funding from pharmaceutical companies to do all kinds of research. And so I just wonder how can we affect these institutions and changing their curriculum to include natural medicine. I know some are already, like the ones in San Francisco State, for example, they have a holistic program. But I really think we need to do something at that level as well.
Jim, any comments?
Well, one of the things about the medical education is that a lot of the young medical students are not happy with that mechanistic drug-based system. And so there are a lot of efforts, many of them initiated by students. On the other hand, there's in addition to that, there are many, many wealthy graduates of these schools who have had no help or minimal help from the mainstream healthcare system, but have found natural healing to help them a lot. And they are turning around and providing funding to create natural healing centers in a lot of our major universities. The combination of the of the wealthy alumni who are having good effects from natural healing, and the sort of restless, if not rebellious, medical students who want to learn more than just the narrow things that have been there in the past. The combination of those two forces are actually beginning to put some pressure on the medical schools to change their curriculum.
And we see signs of that, because just this year, April 30th, is Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day, and we honor a visionary in the community that is using their education in the medical field to shift the energy into the alternative field. And so, Dr. Marcus Lorenzo Penn, a graduate of Howard University in Washington, D.C., we honor him this year. He went through medical school, and he didn't want to stay with that narrow-minded thinking, and he formed the self-care reform movement, and that's his practice now. So we have a lot of medical doctors in school that are understanding that there is different ways and paths to healthcare, and we're excited about that.
The other aspect of all of this, it's a very simple statement. Conventional medicine treats symptoms, and alternative medicine treats causes. And that's a huge difference. So if you keep treating symptoms, the pain may go away, but then something else happens, and eventually you end up with chronic disease, which you don't want. And so this is the great boon of alternative medicine, is treating the causes directly, so the problem is gone. You don't have to keep taking painkillers for the rest of your life.
That's why I love conscious self-healthcare. It starts from the conscious. It works its way down. It comes from the in to the out to the extremities, and we need to understand how the body heals. It's based on what you think and feel and what you know to be true. So maybe it's time for you to shift your paradigm a little bit from what's been drilled into you and realize that I can treat my cellular malfunctions once I learn how the body properly works and what I can do for myself. And then choose the practitioner that supports your energy and what you want to assist you with gaining your health. And so Jim Turner and James Oschman, Wanda, we want to thank you all, listening audience. And we actually had somebody said, I actually read the book, read that in a book by Dr. Bernard Jensen, the book about iridology, about walking barefoot on the grass. That's just something real simple that they can do, right?
Yes, indeed. Anybody can do it, and it's free. I love that.
And it's free. And that's what it's all about. It is freedom. Freedom to make your choice, family, community, and friends. That's all this show is all about. Get happy. Get happy no matter where you are right now, no matter how you feel and how much pain you're in. We know you listening in. I know it seems impossible, that all you've gone through, all you heard, that all I have to do is just simply shift my energy, recognize how divine I am, and I can get another approach and stop dealing with symptoms and get to the cause of things, and I can feel much better. And we have so many people that are connected through the vibration of oneness that is making this happen for you on both ends of the perspective, through the Constitution, through alternative modalities, putting on forums like this for you to come out and learn, to experience, to ask your questions, an opportunity. So share it with your community. Tell everybody to come out. The information is available to you. And parting words, Mr. Jim Turner, what would you like to say?
Well, I think that we are actually on the cutting edge of a wave that is shifting away from a very, very dangerous and negative healthcare system. That is not to say everything in it is bad. There are a lot of very good things, but it has overwhelmed us with its economics, and it's underwhelmed us with its effectiveness. But we are making progress. It itself is now looking for leadership and help and guidance. We don't have to wake them up. They're awake. What we have to do is provide the leadership that will let them be able to find the things that they need and they want from the opportunities that exist in the natural medicine area.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Professor Oschman, what would you like to leave our audience with?
Well, there's a huge economic factor here. We recognize that 75% of that incredible healthcare debt that we're borrowing money to pay for is for chronic disease. and we want to not have chronic disease. We want to get away from chronic disease, and if something gets chronic, we want to know what we can do to make it go away. And connecting to the earth is one of them, but there are many, many other modalities, and I hope you all come to this event on Thursday, August 14th. The simple way to access all the information is just to go to my website, energyresearch.us. Dr. Karen gave the whole...
okay, I got that now. Thank you.
Yours is a little more complicated. Energyresearch.us. And there it is, right in front of your nose, and all the details. And I hope lots of practitioners will sign up, as well as we look forward to seeing everybody who has questions about their wellness. And it'll be a lot of fun.
Energyresearch.us. Energyresearch.us. Energyresearch.us for all the details on the energy and wellness no frills extravaganza. 5:30 to 9 p.m. Thursday, August the 14th at the historic National City Christian Church. It's time to make the shift. Come out, give us some support. Let's connect. Let's become one and move this movement forward in oneness and love and kindness. Wanda, how would you like to lead the show with our...
I just want people to remember two artists that I know of, and that's the Jamaican poet Muda Baruka and also Michael Franti. They never wear shoes. Never, ever. Michael's album is entitled Stay Human. He travels the world and wears no shoes. So I think I'm going to follow in their footsteps and Jim's guidance. I'm going to walk on some grass and walk on some sand.
All right. That's right. Stimulate. Family, community, and friends. Thank you so very much for tuning into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. Everybody knows that July was my Earth Month. I turned 57 on July 15th. I still have a special for you. If you want to step up to informational medicine, you can receive the Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan and experience the total wellness system with the My Health device for that phenomenal cost of my birth. 57 years on planet Earth. Give me a call, 202-248-7749, 202-248-7749. Visit the websites, the number 4, the word CELLIFE, CELLIFE.com, and Conscious Self-Care with one S connects conscious and self. Mr. Oschman, thank you so very much for joining us on Heart2Heart Healthy Living. So looking forward to being with you all on Thursday, August the 14th. Mr. Jim Turner, thank you for all that you are doing and your organization and all the people that are with you, moving this understanding forward so that people can know that they have freedom to choose their wellness. I want to thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And you all know that you can visit Wanda K. Whitaker, my friend that joins me in the chat room every Tuesday from Pacifica, California, because we all are anchored in spirit. That's her website, anchoredinspirit.com. Family, community, and friends, once again, thank you for tuning in Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Health is all about consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. We look forward to seeing you August the 14th in Washington, D.C. Thank you all very much. And come get on board our friendship train. You're sure to be happy and feel well and get rid of all your pain. Shift your energy. Thank you all. Wow, family community, we have just had a wonderful time on Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Thank you, Wanda K. Whitaker, for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Please share Heart to Heart Healthy Living with all your family and friends, because health starts with being happy, and those who are happy are much healthier. That's every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the airways of Inner Light Radio. Come join Dr. K and friends. We are on this friendship train, and we are moving down the track from disease care to conscious self-health care. Don't you want to come aboard our friendship train? Remember, that's every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here raising the vibration and singing the song. Happy days are here again. So tune back in next week. And thank you so very much for tuning in to Heart Healthy Living and sharing this broadcast with a friend.